Welcome everyone, back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as we are going to continue to see lots of rainfall in places as we do see west to southwesterly winds pushing in. So yes, lots of cloud, lots of precipitation, but the one plus is actually going to be incredibly mild in places over the coming days. And of course, under rain and cloud it's not going to feel all too mild, but when we do see breaks, when we see a bit of sunshine perhaps this weekend, could see temperatures get up into the mid to maybe even high teens. 16, 17 degrees looks likely, maybe even 18 or 19, and I've seen a few odd runs appearing at 20 degrees, but I must say most likely it's mid to high teens. So quite a bit milder, no heat wave or anything like that, as it is going to be intermittent rainfall really, but turning a lot milder compared to the last few months in general as we do start to come out of winter. As we'll look at in the longer range, the latest GFS, GM, ECMWF and the ensembles, it is looking more changeable as we head into the second half. Definitely looks like there'll be some quite cold runs appearing, but equally nothing too overwhelming at this stage. Of course, as I've continued to say over the past few videos, we've had a sudden stratospheric warming, so it does make blocking and colder patterns more plausible, but by no means does it guarantee that sort of pattern, and we are continuing to see that sort of mix in the longer range. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now if you start on the live radar, you can see one of these bands of rain moving through at the moment, pretty heavy in places, but not a massive wall. There will be bits and bobs of dry conditions around, but plenty of cloud, and as I said, plenty of outbreaks of rain. Now it is pushing quite mild air in at the moment, and if we put on those temperatures as of around 6 PM, you can see it's still fresh across Scotland, but most areas are in the yellows. So even though it's raining, it's actually very mild temperatures in the mid to low teens at the moment. So well above average for the time of year where we should slowly be edging out the single digits, but we are well into the double digits at the moment, and that's going to continue over the coming days. Now if you do look at the latest UKV, you can see over the coming hours we can continue to see that rainfall pushing northward and eastwards, but turn slightly drier as we head into tomorrow morning. But we're going to see further showers pushing in from the west, especially across parts of southern England. There could be quite heavy and thundery, and further northwards we start to see some cooler air digging back in as the low clears. Could see a little bit of wintriness over the higher ground, but for most just a bit of rain. Into Friday afternoon, those showers do continue, but we should slowly see them fade away into the latter parts of Friday into Saturday. And as we head into Saturday, things could become a little bit better for a couple of hours in the morning before the next band of precipitation moves in. Initially lighter rain on its leading edge, but then some quite heavy stuff could move in on the western edge of this system for overnight Saturday into Sunday. So Sunday morning you could wake up, could be a lot of surface water around. Now luckily most of Sunday actually looks relatively dry. Still showers around, could be heavy and thundery. Of course with the milder air it's more humid, more energy, so it makes the risk of heavier showers more likely. And then slowly as we head into Monday, we could see another band of pretty heavy rain moving in there for southern England, but most of it should have cleared by Monday rush hour. And then the rest of Monday, still showers around in places, but they should be fairly light and patchy. And you can see again another area of precipitation moves in, but it doesn't look as heavy for when Monday night into Tuesday. And then finally Tuesday, another day where mostly sunshine and cloud, but again could be bits and bobs of rain around. Now so the temperatures are pretty mild indeed. You can see this afternoon temperatures got up into the low to maybe even mid-teens in a few spots, but now with raining moving in it will feel quite a bit cooler. As we head into Friday afternoon, again look at those temperatures. Thursday 13 to 15 degrees. As I said, still rain, showers around which will hold those temperatures down, and of course a cold front further northwards which is cooling temperatures down as well. But into Saturday could be an isolated frost in the north, so actually turning temporarily chilly. But as we head into Saturday afternoon, the milder conditions are starting to return, so actually could be temporarily cold there for about 24 hours. But then look at Sunday as those milder air moves back in. Sunday afternoon before the rain arrives, 15 to maybe as high as 16 or 17 degrees locally, maybe even a degree or two warmer. So really mild on Sunday, and most likely a similar picture for Monday. Not quite as mild, but still 14 to 16 degrees And then finally into Tuesday, look at that, more widespread area of 15 to 16 degrees across England. There could even get up, as said, to 17 or 18. Again, it's not completely out of the picture to be seeing these sort of temperatures this time of year. I wouldn't say it's likely, but it's not anything too crazy. But it's definitely a good 5, maybe even more degrees above average. And if you look at the longer range, unfortunately, milder conditions or sustained milder conditions don't look likely. As you compress over the coming days, westerly winds are pushing in. That's why it's unsettled, and that's why it is mild. However, as we progress into the longer range, those westerly winds start to lose out a bit. And you can see here, actually, the GFS builds in a big area of high pressure, actually turning us drier and potentially warmer. But you can see intermittent areas of low pressure moving in, bringing fresher air masses, and right towards the end of the run, actually easterly winds arriving. Of course, being end of March, it's not going to be anything too ridiculously cold, but it's not particularly mild either, would be just chilly under that. I do just want to go back to sort of day 7, day 8, where we do have this big area of high pressure building in. It would actually be really pleasant under that high. Again, uncertainty to exactly what we'd see with that, but I wouldn't say anything too bad. Again, if we look at those temperatures, you can see maybe again mid-teens in the day. Not been seeing that on the models too often. It'd be interesting to see what the GM shows now. Again, if we look over the coming days, west to southwesterly winds pushing in, very mild. And fairly unsettled in most areas. You can see, though, towards day 10, no signs of high pressure, so it looks like the GFS was a little bit of an anomalous run there. More low pressure digging in with colder, fresher air masses moving in. But look to our to our north, look at the Arctic. All that cold air is still locked away, so no signs from the GM of any real cold air getting poured into the mid-latitudes. That is something we would expect from a sudden stratospheric warming, but not seeing it here at the moment. Now, if you look at the latest ECMWF, again, we see westerly flow continue, unsettled conditions. We do start to see some high pressure building in, but it's nowhere near as sustained, and we'll actually start to try and dig in some fresher air from the north or northwest there. So, again, we'll have to see how that does play out. And if you finish by looking at the latest ensembles, again, you can see generally in the longer term it's cooler or at least more changeable. So yeah, fresher conditions in places. Precipitation actually reducing there. So perhaps the GFS is catching on to something. Higher pressure potentially taking over a little bit more. That would be something encouraging. As said though, the next week doesn't look high pressure dominated at all, but maybe slightly in the longer range it could be looking a bit better. And if you compare to the ECMWF, again, fairly similar over the coming days, mild and unsettled, perhaps a slight drying trend in the longer term, and maybe slightly cooler as well, more towards more around average, but not quite as a definitive signal as the GFS. I'm seeing these models, and they are changing quite a lot at the moment. Again, that could be effects of the sudden stratospheric warming, making longer term patterns highly unpredictable. But I said we'll have to see over the coming days. For now, though, plenty of precipitation around over the next 5 days, but equally quite a lot of milder conditions. So if you do see a dry day coming up, if it does look dry outside and you want to go out, it is going to be pretty mild out there. Wouldn't be surprised if you start to see a few people in shorts and people only in a light jumper or something, because it is getting to that point where those temperatures are starting to get pretty mild, and some would class even high teens towards 20 degrees warm. So that will be interesting to see over the coming days. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.